And it says we're live,
It lies.
and we don't match for a change.
For once.
Yeah.
You're both wearing colors of blue.
Oh, shut up.
Well, Jim kind of matches the background a bit.
I don't quite fade into the background.
Not this time.
Oh, Wagner's ring cycle.
Killed a wabbit. Killed a wabbit. Which I understand will be the Kill the Wabbit montage as done by Methel Ehrman and her partner will be a featured something or other at FinCon.
I
Oh,
gotta come to the party to get the concert.
joy. Y'all are trying to get us kicked out, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, they want us to do that.
Yeah, nobody's fading into that. Yeah. And it's got the wrong number of blades on it. I'm sorry. And they're the wrong shape, too. Uh,
Two Korean horsehair hates.
hats, probably.
Oh, hats.
Uh, yes, today is the last day to get your FinCon tickets at a discounted price.
Yeah, only $40.
Yeah, 40
Oh.
bucks is cheap.
$40 is not bad for a con.
That's great for a full weekend, especially
Oh.
with Larry and the gang.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hopefully, everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. I'm not going to say happy because it's not a happy time, at least for most of us, especially anybody that's former military. The whole thing down in Uvalde is blowing up
Oh boy.
in so many directions. And, we didn't comment for 72 hours for a reason.
And honest to God, with the amount of spin and lying that went on in the first 72 hours, I'm not sure I can do it now.
Yeah, I know. But there are definitely some questions
Yep.
that are being asked. And one of the first and foremost, at least in my mind, is where in the hell did he get $6,000?
Exactly.
Working at Wendy's?
Apparently part time at Wendy's.
Yes. So he's making what? $10 an hour?
I don't know. I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
And given his psychological background, I'll guarantee you wasn't that good of a worker.
No. And probably was not there that long.
And as a former 18-year-old with really poor life choices and non-existent restraint, there ain't no way in hell I'd have had $6,000 at any one time.
No. Yeah, okay, $10.50 an hour. All right, I was off by half a dollar. And everybody's trying to blame the gun shop.
Of course.
Not the gun shop's fault.
No, he passed background checks.
Yeah, he passed 4473 and a background check.
Yep.
And he paid cash apparently. Over 1,000 rounds of ammo bought. Also, it was not his truck, Josh. It was
his-
actually stolen from his grandmother.
Yes. And I don't know how grandma. Well, one of the theories is that he stole the money from his grandparents or grandma.
Yeah.
I don't know of many grandmas in Uvalde, Texas that have 5,000 cash lying around the house where a kid could find it. Because most of them have raised kids and they know better.
Yeah.
And these days, what with, I'm here to tell you, fuel prices, food prices, taxes, and everything else, if you've got a spare $5,000 laying around the house, you don't.
Yeah, Josh, it could also have been his grandfather's truck. But the image was not us. That was not necessarily a bad thing, Koala.
What?
She had to reload because it was.
Well, and Uvalde is close enough to the border, yet far enough. And he was a disaffected Mexican American, Latin,
Yeah.
that had all the proper ID to get past the border patrol.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about there may have been smuggling involved.
Yeah.
But I'm not thinking people. I'm thinking meth, moda.
Yeah, that's possible.
because the cartels are out looking for folks like that.
Yeah.
And you can make 5,000 cash smuggling a brick
Yeah.
of something across the border. You drive down there,
Especially if it's fentanyl.
you can make $5,000.
Yeah, freeze frame on Kamala. No, that's not us. Not even close. And Biden was stupid again,
No.
and is apparently disaffected with the fact that his people, and I use that term loosely, have to keep walking back his statements.
No.
Yeah, apparently.
Let him stand. Let him stand.
Well, yesterday he
Don't
said
walk him
that a 9mm will blow a lung out of a body. And we just choked Holly.
We just lost Holly. I must have gotten some defective 9mm rounds because I've never had that happen.
Never have either.
Mm.
But he has now added that to the high caliber guns that need to be banned.
Oh, 9mm?
Yeah.
I hate to break the news to him. That's not a high caliber round.
No, it's not. You know that. I know that. Yeah, Sarah, that's an excellent point. The situation clearly demonstrates we can't rely on law enforcement to resolve things the way we would want it done. The next time the left says only cops should have a gun,
Oh yeah. Woo!
all you got to do is point to Uvalde. Yep. And a number of others.
I got blocked by somebody on Facebook. Woohoo!
Again.
Because I've been on a bit of an anti-gun control tear. If y'all are on Facebook, my 72-hour rule does not extend to gun control. So I've been on a bit of a gun control tear on Twitter and Facebook. And I've done some rather good memes.
I think bit. That's even some understatement there.
Yeah. And I've done some rather good memes. I am somewhat smarter than the average bear. And one of my memes, somebody responded with, you don't need a gun. The police are there. And that if I didn't give them up, the police would come and take them from me. And I replied that if they're going to send Uvalde PD, I felt pretty good about my options.
Yeah. Hey, DW, good to see you. You haven't been on in a while.
Hey, Courtney's there.
What, Courtney? You got to be shitting me. Please agree that Uvalde was a good argument for defunding. Oh, good God.
No. Well, the thing about Uvalde, and this, coming from a law enforcement veteran, Uvalde has a PD of maybe 15 people.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a town of 15,000 and a county, Uvalde County, is 24,000. Not a big tax base. So they're not getting paid a lot. So what you have in Uvalde is a mix of kids fresh out of the regional peace officer academy. They're looking to get their 3-year street time before going to a bigger agency to get paid better.
Yep.
With a few 25-plus year veterans who are looking for a nice, quiet place to settle down. They want it's a retirement job.
Yep. And
seasoned off with a few cops that can't get a job anywhere else because everybody else looked at them and went, oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
And wouldn't hire them. And Uvalde said, you got 5 years, sketchy years, or 10 sketchy years, we'll hire you. So you got a bunch of rookies, retired on active duty officers, and a couple of damn officers. That's your police department.
Yep, and that happens pretty much everywhere. But the issue is, and a concern is the feds, quote, quote, doing a deep dive on the whole situation.
What the fuck
I
ever.
would
What
trust
the hell ever.
the Texas Rangers more
Oh,
than
yeah.
I would the feds in
Oh,
a
yeah.
heartbeat. And
Yep.
hopefully Abbott will direct.
They're already on it.
Oh, okay, good.
Rangers are already on it.
The other thing people need to realize is Texas is not small. And when you have a sheriff's department that has limited number of people in it,
Again, 24,000 people is not a big tax base. You pay your cops off your tax base. That's not a big tax base.
so you might have, 15 officers for the entire county? If that,
Doubt it. Maybe 10.
maybe
9 or
10.
10. I don't know. I don't know what the because 20,000 population doesn't provide tax base for a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And you've got to staff in Texas. You're required to staff your jail first.
How many did you have in Bug Scuffle?
4.
Okay. So 4 people for how many square miles?
1,050.
So what was your average response time?
Holy gods. Half an hour.
Okay. So let's compare Bug Scuffle, Texas with 4 LEOs in the county and 1,000 square miles and a response time of 50 minutes. Since DW's on here, I'll ask him. He lives up in the Metro Northwest. Any idea how many law enforcement you've got up there at the city and county level and what their average response times are? I'm betting it's going to be hundreds and minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe at best.
Uvalde PD may have had 2 officers on duty.
Yeah.
And Uvalde's not that big, so you've got maybe a 10-minute response time because it's a town of 15,000. It's not that big. 10-minute response time if you're in the bathroom, have to put, or you're dealing with, you're on
The opposite side of town.
and on a call.
Yeah.
Or if you're roping off somewhere where a grandma got shot. And if you're out of your car looking for the person who shot grandma.
Yeah.
You get the call, you had to get back to your car and find out and all that. Okay. Response time, iffy.
Yeah. Hundreds, although Seattle is getting smaller. Yeah. A lot of people are bailing on Seattle for good reason.
Direct Rangers to investigate what happened at Uvalde.
Yeah, that's already being done.
And that's going to be an interesting because I saw the report the Rangers did on Waco.
Yeah.
And holy gods, I posted that as a matter of fact. Holy gods, that was rough. They tore the FBI a whole new one on that report.
Yeah. And Courtney said average response in Aurora, Colorado, was 45 minutes. Yeah. City and county, King County could easily be over 1,000. I didn't think it was that big, DW, but that's possible, easily possible. And then the next question is response times, because King County is not that big. That's what people don't realize. We've got counties out here that are bigger than the states.
Oh yeah. And some of our biggest counties have the fewest law enforcement.
Yeah.
Fort Bend. I think Fort Bend may be the largest county in Texas, and it's got 5 law enforcement.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than most of your northeastern states.
Yep. Yeah, Koala, that's another good point. 16 square miles and 2 cops that work Saturdays. Yeah.
Well, at Bug Scuffle, the sheriff was on duty from 8 to 5. You had a day deputy on duty 8 to 5. The night deputy came on at 10, and he worked 10 to 6. And then you had a swing deputy that would work the day shift Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then the night shift Tuesday and Wednesday. So your day deputy would have Sunday and Monday off. You'd double up on Monday, which is court day. So you'd have the sheriff and 2 deputies. And then a single deputy out. Well, every night from 10 to 6, there was a single deputy. From 6 to 8, nobody. And from 5 to 10, nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, the off-duty border patrol agent responded borrowing a shotgun from the barber. Yep.
And one of the reasons that people your average citizen needs to carry guns is so that your BORTAC agent can borrow your barber's shotgun. Welcome to Texas, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like, okay, which shotgun did he borrow? The one behind the door or the one in the closet?
I'll guarantee that wasn't the only gun in the barbershop.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, DW, that's another good point. King County does have this huge lake called Lake Washington right in the middle of it. Rather large lake. Rogue, I can believe that. Active shooter, and it was 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, Cedar, his wife and daughter were in there. Ren, as best we can tell, that was not the same officer.
Don't know.
We
It's
don't know.
Again, the flat out, and I hate to say this, I really do, but I think I can state with some certainty that the flat out lying by local PD during the whole thing has sure muddied the waters a lot.
Yeah, the pics of his hat are scary.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because the near as I can tell, the very first statements from local PD were flat lies.
Yeah.
And they went downhill from there.
Yeah.
And trying to make heads or tails of this when one of your data points is lying their asses off is difficult.
yeah, that's Josh. That's exactly right. There were apparently more than one off-duty officer that went in. Vortak went in,
Well,
from what we know.
no shit.
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you that, as bad as they were, off-duty Uvalde PD went in.
Yeah.
And Uvalde County went in. I mean, trust me, if you were a sworn officer in that area, you responded.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't handle things real well when they got there,
Yeah.
but at least they showed up.
Yeah, Jason, that one I'm not sure about.
Okay, Uvalde is strongly Democratic.
Very much so, and
Um,
Mexican.
And highly Mexican. The Uvalde, and something that was briefly mentioned that everybody shut the hell up about, is Uvalde Independent School District had announced there would be no guns on campus. Texas,
Yeah.
a lot of the smaller, Uvalde size and smaller, the campuses are following what I call the Herald rule. And for those of you who don't know, Herald Independent School District is Will County. It's a teeny tiny wide spot in the road.
Yeah.
They play 6-man football. For those of you in Texas, will tell you how small it is. Their football team's 6, but they play in 6-man leagues. About 2005, the superintendent very quietly said, if you had a license or then a license, I don't want to know, but carry at school if you want to. He's been very good about I don't want to know. Well, 2007, something happened. CNN found out about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember.
And CNN was losing their poo, citing federal law and all this. And Herald doesn't have a police department. It's small enough it relies on sheriff's office. So CNN, whole bunch of reporters showed up at the Will County Sheriff's Office, demanding to know what the sheriff was going to do about it. Sheriff went, "What?" And they said, you have people carrying guns on Independent School District campus. He went, "Oh hell, follow me," and drove down there and told the superintendent, "I need all your staff out here. I hear that some folks have guns on campus. Some of your staff are armed on campus." And the superintendent said, "Yep." And I don't know who they are, so I don't know who they are, so you're screwed. Well, he said, the sheriff said, "Get all your people out here." And got all the people out there. And the sheriff went, "Raise your right hands."
Yeah.
And CNN went, "What?"
Swore them all in as deputies.
And right after that, CNN publicized that. I don't like front sight firearms in Las Vegas very much. I don't like their CEO. I don't like them. It's a scam around guns, and they do some good work, but the whole thing stank from the get-go. Anyway, one of their few redeeming was they contacted Herald and Herald ISD and said, anybody with a Herald ID staff card, we will provide them with a free 4-day pistol and active response training.
Yeah.
And the superintendent said, "I don't want to know who went there." So to this day, near as I can tell, he doesn't know who's armed, who's carrying. You can ask him; he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit after that, you started seeing signs popping up all over Texas, small campuses, saying our staff are armed and we'll use deadly force to protect the students. There's one. We were on the way to up 79.
Yeah.
To what's the name of that little bird?
I can't remember. I've been thinking about trying to remember who that was.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we passed the campus and there's a great huge sign saying the staff are armed and will protect our students with deadly force. It's like, woohoo!
Yeah.
A
And
lot
one
of
of our local school districts here as armed
Do they?
teachers.
And a whole bunch of, and the funny thing is Texas law is kind of squirrely. Texas law, if you are a school marshal,
Yeah.
I don't know, you can't carry off campus, and there's basically a security guard for following security guard rules, which are very restrictive. However, if the superintendent signs off on your license to carry and all that, you don't have to follow all those restrictive rules. And most of the superintendents that do that, they don't know who's carrying.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't know. Are they armed? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of Argyle ISD does it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of small towns, Uvalde size, that their teachers went out. They got licenses to carry. Some of them had some training. A lot of them, because they are, for most part, responsible people, have gotten some training. And a lot of places will very quietly, I know CSAT does, and a
Yeah.
couple other places, if you are a teacher and you tell them, hey, I'm carrying on campus, they say, come to me, that child, you don't have to pay. Come on up.
Yeah.
There you go. But Uvalde PD or Uvalde ISD was very proud of the fact that we will not have armed teachers on our campus. Well, how'd that work out for you, Scooter?
Yeah. Koala, that's a good question. And we'll never know the answer as to why they stood around and not went in. Other than the one thing we do know is they didn't have a key to the room.
No.
Apparently the custodian had to be found and
Well,
he had a key.
That's
But
another
that
thing.
brings up another question in my mind. Where was the SRO who apparently was working 2 campuses, not one?
Yeah, they allowed them to do that.
Yeah. And why did he not have master keys?
Well, they're okay. I got in trouble. This is gonna be a shock to a lot of our
And
I
the
love
peanut gallery.
I love the giggling in the background. We did a tour of the schools back when I was still active. Did a tour of the schools, and I got in trouble because they were very proud of the fact that every there was this fancy little thing. You got a hole in the floor and this T slot on the door, and you grab this red thing off the wall, you drop it in the T slot in the hole, and this door is proof against you're not getting through the door. We were told no active shooter will get through this door. And I said, aren't the police active shooters? What?
Yeah.
What happens if the critter gets in there and locks the door? Then what?
Yeah.
And I was told to shut up. But that's a good point. When Rita was at the local university, she had the same system. So I was testing it. And if you don't know, I mean, everybody's, well, they could have blown the doors off. They could have blown that off with a shotgun. Well, there's issues there.
Yeah.
One, the system set up at the university and at the local school district has no exterior. You don't know where the little bar going in the floor is. So you can shoot the bottom of the door all day long and not hit it. Two, unless you have lockbuster rounds, if you touch off a slug or charge a buckshot into the door, there's children on the far side.
Yep.
And even if you use a lockbuster, the steel T thing that the bar slides in, if you hit that steel it was a square about yay big, and it was solid mounted to the door. If you hit that steel square with a lockbuster, it's coming off a door and spinning into a room full of children.
Yep. And the other thing to talk about is using doorbuster charges, which are, depending on which way you go, either tubes of PVC filled with water and
I prefer V-channel cutting charges, but it's
or
just me.
cutting charges. There are a number of different ways to do that.
A V-panel cutting charge, I can cut a man, or hell, I can do it with enough det cord,
Yeah.
axle grease, and a B27 target, plastic B27 target. To cut it, just bypass the hinges, the lock, and everything. Just cut a man-sized hole in the door.
Yeah.
Trouble is, if it's a steel door, you have steel door spinning through a room full of children.
And let me tell you, we did that on one occasion for test purposes in the former law enforcement building. And we had cut a couple holes through the wall. We blew a couple of the wooden doors, including a solid wooden one, which was interesting. because there were pieces of wood that long sticking in the far wall.
Mhm.
But when we blew the steel door, and this was with PVC, deck cord and PVC filled with water, it blew the entire door and door frame probably 15 feet across the room and stuck it in the far wall.
Mhm.
Now, what would have happened if there'd have been somebody between that door's original location and the door's new location?
Also, you've got the they're talking about the active shooter drill. You've got a problem. Current dogma in law enforcement is more and more taking away initiative on the part of the officers. Current dogma is you will follow the policy, or you will not deviate from the policy. And their officers at one time had a lot of discretion. That's getting beaten out of them.
Yeah.
And you've got officers these days who can say with a great deal of truthfulness, I had no choice. I had to do this. Whereas when I started, you had discretion to use your own initiative. If the policy says active shooter, you must go in, they will charge in. But if the policy says barricaded shooter, you will do this, they will do that.
Yeah.
Because they have no discretion, have no initiative. So if your active shooter turns into a barricade shooter, following policy with no independent thought, because that's been beaten out of them by the courts and the people and everybody that thinks they know what a cop does but doesn't have a damn clue and is beating independent thought out of them, you follow the checklist. Ooh, now it's a barricade shooter. You do this, this, and this. Well,
and DW raises a good point. They did an active shooter drill at that school 2 months ago, which followed best practices, i.e., first person in the scene goes in alone. Except that didn't happen. And when the sheriff got there, the sheriff was the one that determined it was a barricade situation.
sheriff or chief?
Chief. Sorry. So that, as Ian said, now the procedure flips. I have a good friend that teaches active shooter for law enforcement. He is a retired Marine master gunnery sergeant. He's also an ex-sniper, and he has taken people down in a law enforcement situation. He teaches for the state of Arkansas. And one of the critical parts that he teaches is that every incident is different. Every school is different.
There's no policy that covers everything.
And that's exactly right. There is no policy that's going to cover every possible situation.
But all these Monday morning quarterbacks they have never done this. They've never strapped on armor. They've never gotten to a squad car. They've never had to wrestle the shit covered samurai wielding psycho at 3 in the morning. They never had to do all this. We'll tell you that, well, they didn't follow policy. And everybody says, well, they were worried for their jobs. No. If you violate policy,
get killed is what it is.
If you violate policy, you fall outside qualified immunity. If you violate policy, if you do something that's not policy, everybody bitches about qualified immunity. If you do something outside of policy, it is no longer the consequences are no longer on the agency. If you violate policy, you can be sued as independent, and you can lose everything. You lose your kids' college money. You lose, everything that, if you lose a lawsuit, if you get sued and you violated policy in the county, and they will do this because risk managers out of Austin will make them do it. He was outside of policy. You are now on your own. And when you get sued, you will lose everything.
Yep.
So are you going to bet your retirement, your kid's scholarship, the food that goes on your kid's table, the happiness of your wife? I'm no longer in law enforcement, and there's a damn fine reason for that.
It's a no-win situation. Yeah, Koala, that is an excellent point. 100% proof that everyone needs to know firearm safety and what it is like being near a gun going off, even if they never own or shoot one themselves. The one that always sticks in my craw and mind is the reporter out of New York.
You can stop right there.
Yeah, but I'm going to continue anyway, so
Okay.
shut up. The reporter out of New York that went down and shot an AR-15 and was traumatized by it.
Oh, what's his nuts?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was traumatized by the recoil
He had PTSD.
and the noise.
He
and
had
he had PTSD.
Yeah. God, what a pussy.
Yeah.
No, wait. He lacks the depth and the warmth.
Yeah.
Uh,
I taught a 12-year-old girl, small girl.
yeah, Kunzman. That's him.
Kuntzman, thank you. Thank you, Jason and Richard. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just, oh my God. What the fuck?
I had a 12-year-old little girl. Yeah. And the 6-year-old that did it grinned like crazy. Yeah. But I taught a 12-year-old how to shoot a rifle with an AR-15 to the point that within a week, her daddy was buying her own AR-15
Yeah.
at age 12. And
Well-
she still has it and still shoots it.
That famous picture of Mad Mike's eldest daughter.
Yeah.
With a pink AR. And she was a wee sprung, having a good time.
Yeah, Josh, the 6-year-old dual wielding locks. There's a little bit more to that story.
There usually
She's
is.
actually the younger daughter of a now 13 or 14-year-old. Her dad is an ex-AMU match shooter. And daddy trained them.
Army Marksmanship Unit.
Yeah, thank you. AMU match shooter and competitor who trained his kids from a very young age about guns, being around guns, and do's and don'ts. And the 13-year-old took up competition, I believe at age 10, and was shooting gun matches with was it a Glock?
Mhm.
Might have been a Glock, pistol unknown, an AR, and a 20 gauge shotgun, and competing and beating people at age 10.
Well,
and the 6-year-old went, well, if she can do it, I can do it too. And she did. But they won't let her compete because she's not
she's
old enough.
not old enough. She can't keep both ends of the rifle of the shotgun off the ground when she's walking.
Yeah.
Micklick,
Yeah, Jerry Micklick.
his daughter, she's been shooting since what?
3 probably.
3 days after she hit the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and mama and daddy are pretty good shots
Yeah,
themselves.
no kidding.
Kay is Jim Clark's daughter. So she grew up shooting. Jerry married her, and they have had a friendly, ongoing competition for most of their lives. And Lana, the daughter, is now a nationally ranked and has been a nationally ranked shooter for a number of years. But again, she grew up on a range.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, poor daughter. Yeah, traumatized by guns.
Have you seen her quad loading a shotgun?
Yeah.
She ain't that big.
No. Yeah, Lena. And
She got one of the fastest quad loads on a shotgun I've ever seen. Holy God.
yeah, she's traumatized when she doesn't win, Jason.
No kidding.
Yeah, but you know, it's so much different these days.
So when I was in junior high, the girl with the locker right next to me brought her competition rifle in and put it in her locker because she didn't want to leave it out. You know, her mom would drop her off, and then she'd get picked up afterwards and go off to practice. And nobody even blinked that she brought it in and stuck it in her locker.
1984.
In Oregon.
84.
Yeah.
September 1st, first day of dove season in Texas, the principal's office was full of 12 gauges
Right?
Oh yeah.
because every boy and half the girls brought their 12 gauges to school because as soon as they got out of school, they were going to go blast some doves.
Well, in the 70s, we just left them in the truck in the parking lot, and it was unlocked. Yeah. Julie Gollum's daughter shoots steel matches. Yeah, Jerry, we're getting old. Yeah, Jason, Lena and Julie and a number of the women that I can think of, Tam. Yeah, they traumatized me by the way they shoot. I
Jesse,
saw Tam kill at
Oh,
one of
Lord.
our get-togethers, plinking with a little Ruger 22 on a steel plate, and she turned it sideways, and it didn't fall over, and that pissed her off.
Yeah, it did.
And it took her what 6 rounds
6
to
rounds to finally drop it.
plink the edge and it back around where she can flatten it. She's
Oh.
shooting a friggin' quarter-inch piece of steel, edge on, an idiot.
Jesse Duff,
Yeah,
my one high-level match, she was there, and I watched her do a run, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm never going to be anywhere near her.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad, DW. Detroit, they used to leave the guns in lockers, not having anything to do with deer season. Oh, hey, Bex, you're welcome.
But no, it's and 84. It's I had 16 gauge in there. I was very excited 16 gauge.
Yeah.
It's like all right, if you're in deer season, the same way.
Yeah.
Stack them in the principal's office.
Yeah, I actually got pulled out during deer season because I got a deer and the assistant principal didn't. So he pulled 3 of us out of class and said, "You assholes are going to show me where you got those deer." Randy Rogers, yep, she's another great one.
Deer season, first day of deer season, first day of dove season.
Yeah.
You were having the principal's having, and he was a short little shit.
Yeah.
Was having step over piles of guns in his office.
Yep.
Of course, rural Texas. Well,
Yeah, yeah, Raptor. I was born a few decades earlier than you are, but yeah, it's different today.
that, bearing in mind that when I was in high school, there was a smoke pit for students.
Yep. Bex May, who just signed in, is a mama bear raising kids on her own out in Utah, and she's had to deal with a number of issues out there. But she's a good friend of ours, and we've helped her along the way a little bit. First day of turkey season. Yes.
But nope, it's
Well, there are a lot of places. Texas used to not start school until after Memorial Day.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry,
Labor Day.
after Labor Day.
Labor Day. You start in August.
Yeah, start in August. And the first day of hunting season was holiday. Now, period. I mean, school's just closed. Yeah, we do have pictures of Bex holding a big gun. Yes. Yeah, Raptor, we as we age, we all sound like Rice Krispies in the morning.
So 25.
Yeah.
That's when I started sounding like a bag of Rice Krispies in the morning.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, you got cookies and you're not sharing? Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
cookies. I've got a minor rant to go off on too. If
Feel free.
for those of the gentle listeners who remember the saga of the sad puppies,
Yeah.
we told a lot of people, Larry and Brad and Sarah and Jim and me, we told a lot of people, learn from history. Revolutions, you start with the French Revolution, they always wind up eating their own. And I saw this personally in Africa. Revolutions always Robespierre always winds up on the gallows, or the chopping block, whichever.
Yeah.
So this brings us to
Even when David Weber's writing it.
this brings us to Balticon this last weekend.
Oh, yes.
There's an author, fairly good. I've read any of her stuff, but she's well known, well respected, African American lady. Writes, I'm not sure what she writes. I think it's speculative fiction.
Yeah.
Has a transgender daughter. Gets to Balticon, a con that she's been going to apparently since 3 days after Dirt. Winds up on a panel about diversity. And you'd think an African American author with a transgender daughter would know a little about diversity, but what do I know? Somebody decided to get their lavender scented fifis all in a knot and decided that Stephanie Burke said something that was racist and
Yeah.
transist or something. I
Transist,
don't
apparently.
give a flying rat's ass. Flying a rolling donut. Anyway, and the Khan, being loyal members of the French Revolution and all, hauled her out of the panel under escort.
A different panel.
Different panel, under escort, forbade her from any other panels, took her to the Concom, where apparently, according to her, no independent verification of this, but it does not surprise me, a senior member of the Con panel screamed at her. Now, I don't know where Stephanie was during Sad Puppies. I'm pretty sure that she was not on the Sad Puppy side of things.
No.
This still makes me very sad. And Balticon needs to go up in flames.
What makes it even more interesting is when she asked to meet her accuser,
Oh, yeah.
they denied her the right to meet her accuser. Secondly,
So
the-
suddenly decided when she asked for the recording of the panel to see where she uttered these transist and racist remarks, it doesn't exist.
yeah, mysteriously the panel
There is no
was
recording.
not recorded. But people saw people recording it.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So Balticon and the entire con committee need to be ground zero with about 3 tons of rabid flaming rats from a height.
Yeah.
Um,
This is, it coming after what Sifwa did to Misty.
they eat their own.
Yeah, they eat their own.
Yeah, that's what revolutions do. However, the way they handled that was stupid. And the con committee needs to be whipped around, Baltimore with horse whips, tarred and feathered, and run out of town on a rail. We told you this was going to happen. Why did you not listen? History, stop eating the books.
Yeah,
Read
Sean.
them.
Yeah, Sean, 2 weeks afterwards. Yeah, flipping the con chair's apology is hilarious because it was, we're going to investigate.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. What the fuck ever.
And when you look at what is happening with not just literary cons, the game con,
No, they went stupid early.
yeah, they went stupid early and they burned themselves into the ground. And you can track a lot of this back
43 minutes. What?
until you went on a rant today. Yeah, this BS of what is always believe the accuser begets. Yes. But this goes all the way back. You can take this back to Gamergate. That was really what started blowing up the cons. Sad Puppies didn't blow up cons. What Sad Puppies did was blow up the Hugos,
Oh, yeah.
which then blew up WorldCon as a side effect. I mean, who will not remember Gerald getting up there and the asterisk and
Oh, the Cat Butt Award.
yeah,
I wish I'd had something. I would put the Cat Butt Award on my book proudly.
and
Winner of the No Award.
yeah, Tony Weisskopf being no awarded for the best editor. Yet again,
I'm
because she edits for Bain.
yeah, bad thinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off on a little bit of rant on what Jim said earlier. This
All I'm doing is lighting a fire today.
this complete and total bullshit is what happens when you decide to make victimhood sainthood.
Yep.
When everybody wants to be a hero, everybody, I don't care who you are, you want to be a hero. And when society decides that victims deserve to be heroes, it becomes very easy for shitweasels to decide that they can achieve hero status by being victims. This is not to ding the actual victims. There are actual victims out there. But this made up lavender scented bullshit that gets you victim points towards your hero status is completely and fully laid at society's feet. This needs to stop. I don't care. If I don't know you, I don't care about your victim status. If you have a made up problem, I don't care. Do not assign victim points to made up problems.
Yeah, Jim Butcher was also no awarded at that WorldCon.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, folks, the only award that counts for us as authors is the Benjamins.
Yeah,
Nothing
the
else.
Benji Award.
Now, this is only a 2-rant podcast, DW.
It's when you can be a victim because you got called by the wrong pronoun makes you a victim. I got issues for you. And they start with me putting a size 10.5 cowboy boot right through your prostate.
Pointy-toed or
Well, you could do
She's
pointy
blinking
toed,
at
or
me.
you could just go to the bar and have drinks and have fun, and let them stand over in the corner. And I mean, obviously there's dopamine hits involved here, right? We
like
could
we
be in
did
the
at
bar.
L2UE.
At LT, we could be in the bar having so much fun, and then they could be on the other side of the room pointing and being all squinty weasel face, and then they get their dopamine hit, and we get ours.
Yeah.
So I just choose to be in the spot that's having the most fun,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
so
and Vex says, same. I'm at the bar, but I still don't drink.
that's okay.
That has
Yeah.
nothing to
The
do.
fun, you don't have to
The
drink to
drinking
be in
has
the
nothing to
bar.
do with it.
No, I think ToeCon was a really good example of how you deal with that. You just ignore all that shit and you go have fun.
Yeah.
I'm a
You know?
victim because I got called by the wrong
That's
pronoun.
great.
I don't
Have-
give a shit.
Have some whiskey.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're in pain. Let's solve
Fuck
that
off. Go have a
problem.
Hey,
cigarette.
I'm an
No,
old,
I don't care. I don't
I'm
care.
an old white man, so I am de facto the asshole in the room.
Well, we knew that already.
I'm a
Jim.
white African. There
There's
you go.
nothing. There's nothing new with that.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, but I just think we can let them steer our moods, or we can let them sit
Okay.
in the corner and just be miserable.
Yeah.
I would like to point out something just real quick. Jason states, Jonna is right. He is correct. Go to the
Well,
bar,
I am usually.
drink drinks, have fun.
Mhm.
Do not agree to new anthologies. That part needs to be let
Damn
off.
it! Damn it! My cunning plan is revealed.
But if you have victim points because somebody called your bearded ass a he,
Yeah.
or you made up some bullshit pronoun with too many X's and not enough Y's, and nobody called you by your made up impronounceable pronoun, and that makes you a victim, I got news for you.
Yeah.
Grow the fuck up.
I agree with Alan on the whole pronoun thing. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah.
I've been called enough things over the years. It doesn't bother me. And the sad part is
They're counting my rants. When did they start counting rants?
because you've been boring lately.
Oh, ugh,
Yeah.
ouch.
Ow!
Ow.
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't realize I was boring.
Yeah, and Andy's right. The older snowflakes, the older
Snowflakes.
gay and lesbian friends are not impressed with the snowflakes. Yeah, Ray Carter. And I know we referred to Ray more than once over here, but Ray was gay as a $3 bill.
And proud.
Made no bones about it.
And proud.
Out of Seattle,
God bless him.
one of the original Pink Pistols, contrary to what you may hear from certain other
Yeah,
individuals.
well,
And Ray nailed this stuff 10 years ago. He said, this is what's going to happen to us.
you wasn't wrong.
And he said, first it's going to be the marriage thing. Then they're going to start on the lesbians. And then it's going to be the child. And then it's going to be trans.
Yep.
And that's exactly what has happened. And all the gays and lesbians today have been kicked to the curb by the left because they're no longer a factor. Now everything is trans.
I've probably told this story before, but I'm going to tell a Ray story, the classic Ray story.
Yeah.
I probably told it last week. I don't know. I was so proud of that man. We were at Houston.
Oh, yeah, you told us one already.
Have I already told
Yeah.
this one? Disregard, guys.
Yeah. The other good one though with Ray was when we were at our get together out in Colorado, and he found out he could bring a pistol.
Oh God, that was the he didn't. Ray didn't have any collarbones. He'd had an infection, and his collarbone was not. He didn't have collarbone.
Yeah.
And he was looking sad because we were out there shooting ARs, and he couldn't. No collarbone, you can't shoot a rifle. It's
Yeah.
like, Ray, it's an AR. I'm pretty sure. So we got him out there, and we got a heavy one on a bipod.
Yeah.
So to soak up as much recoil as we could, and we were terrified of breaking Ray. He touched it off. He had the biggest friggin' grin.
Yeah.
And then he burned through 3 30-round magazines. Well,
Yeah.
next year he shows up with a Smith & Wesson mountain gun and 45 Colt. It's like, Ray, you don't have any collarbone, son. If you think they are that mountain gun is going to dislocate everything from your nose down to your butthole,
Yeah.
but it's fun to shoot. All right, Ray.
And he was wearing it in a Buscadero rig,
Oh God.
walking down the middle of tiny town Colorado,
He wa-
swinging
he
his
wa-
shoulders
He wasn't walking. He was doing the John Wayne Swagger.
until we got down to the little museum, and they said, you can't bring any guns in. And he went, oh, somebody got a trunk I can borrow. So, and I had happened to have driven down, so I opened the back hatch of the truck. He pulls it out, lays it in my trunk. Goes, I'm wearing the holster in.
He had, was it Dennis that made the Dead Muppet holster?
Yeah, Dennis made the Dead Muppet.
Dennis Badderamp made him a special
Oh, God.
holster and rig belt. Holster belt that Rita has. He gave it to Rita after he died. And the holster is white, or the belt is white leather with this ornate silver buckle and rhinestones
Yeah.
all over the belt. And you get to the holster, which is covered in dyed rabbit fur.
Yeah.
And we're talking colors not found in nature.
Yes.
Electric blue, cherry red. And it's like, and then it's got the circle of rhinestones on it. It's like, Ray, he said, I like it. Well, all right, Scooter.
Yeah. Yeah, and DW makes a point. He carried 2 peacemakers dressed as Roy Rogers as head of security for the Seattle Pride Parade. Yes.
That does not surprise
That
me.
was right. Now, 45 Colt's not a bad shooter. I've got a couple of them.
Okay. 45 Colt cowboy loads aren't bad shooters. If you get something with buffalo bore,
It's still not that bad.
it'll rattle your fillings.
It'll rattle your feelings, but you can shoot it.
He didn't have a collarbone.
I know that. Ruger loads in a 625. Hell no.
Oh, Yeah.
That just makes my wrist hurt even thinking about that.
Ruger and buffalo bore. Holy gods.
Yeah.
And the first year he showed up with buffalo bore, the first thing we did was, oh God, no.
Yeah.
And swapped out. I think Johnny had some cowboy loads for 45 Colt.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He had everything else.
Yeah. I just,
So we get Ray, give me that, and he had some hot buffalo bore, or
yeah,
it's
they were
like-
buffalo boars.
it's like no.
They were the cast buffalo boars. Yeah.
Yeah, the heavy Magnum buffalo bores, and we put those cowboy action loads in there.
Oh,
It's like,
that reminds me of a Johnny story. Yes, dear.
Just a little side note here. Many of us are friends online with Stephanie Baxter, whose
Yes.
house burned,
burned to the ground, apparently.
Burned
Yes.
to the ground. And I would just like to let everybody know that she has on her Facebook page posted her GoFundMe to help her.
Oh, good.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
guys could spread it
Steph,
around.
Stephanie Baxter, folks.
Yeah.
Let hit your social media. Let folks know her house burned to the ground.
Yes.
Everybody survived.
Everybody's good. Pets are all good. Everything's
Yeah.
fine.
Fur
But they-
kids and everybody survived, but nothing else
23
did.
years in a home.
Yeah, 23-year-old house, and what's left of the roof is on what's left of the floor.
Pretty much. So if you guys could help out, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
So
She is good people,
she's excellent.
and she will be at LibertyCon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got a Johnny story.
Oh Lord.
Remember when Johnny gave us the practice ammo?
Which time? I didn't leave Denton or Blagarado without extra ammo that Johnny gave me.
The box of 38 practice ammo.
I hope you didn't shoot that stuff.
Yeah,
Woo!
we shot it. You were there.
Is that the one that made the cylinder rattle?
No,
Okay.
that was the one that was hitting the hitting the barrel and dropping.
Oh.
These things were so lightly loaded because he said they're Plinken ammo.
Yeah,
Okay,
Plinken ammo.
fine. Well, you know, 38, you get a little bit of recoil. It's like, bink. Damn, did that thing come out the front end? Yeah, it did come out the front end. So we shot, well, we found 45 of the 50 rounds
In front of the target.
in front of the target, hadn't even deformed. Only 3 of them actually went into the plastic barrel.
Yeah.
And we got them back and they hadn't deformed. And there were 5 rounds we couldn't find, but we found the rest of them. So we put them back in the case and gave them back to Johnny and said, here, you can reload these again.
Yeah. Yeah, the hard cast lead. They had the rifling groove, and that was it.
Yeah. Oh, that was just unbelievable. But yeah, there were other days when you'd get a box of ammo from Johnny and it's like, oh, well, this is
No,
gonna
this
hurt.
is gonna hurt. Yeah, he when Rita got Ray's 45 Colt Smith & Wesson.
Yeah.
Johnny gave us a box of ammo for it and said it was hard loaded, which was a Johnny-ism for hang on to your teeth.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which would have been worse, getting hit with that cast lead bullet or the fireball following it, setting your eyebrows on fire.
Yeah.
Because I had bought Rita a Taurus Super Judge, Circuit Judge,
Yeah, circuit judge.
the rifle revolver version of their Judge.
Yeah.
And we weren't running 410 through it, and it wasn't a bad shooter for a 45 Colt. And we were trying to hit a car out at 500 yards.
Yeah.
And we were banging 3 out of 5. And Johnny said, "Try these," and had to drop the front sight a bit. And it was at 500 yards. I swear to God, it was punching through and through of the door panels.
Yeah.
It's like, Johnny, what the hell?
Well, his statement was, he said, if I need to shoot somebody, I want them stopped.
I want to know I pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And of course, our friend up in Childress might have helped with those a few
Oh, God.
times.
Don't ever put any ammo you get from Ashley in anything that's not modern and high strength.
Yes. Ashley Emerson got a little frustrated with the quality of ammo that he was getting.
He owns Garrett now.
He bought Garrett.
Garrett Ammunition. Woo!
Yeah. And if you want high quality ammunition that will do exactly what the manufacturer says it will do,
Oh, yeah.
talk to him.
Oh, yeah. Garrett Manufacturing or Garrett Ammunition, I'm not sure which.
Garrett
Ash-
Ammunition.
Ashley is a strange duck. He's good people.
Yeah.
Ashley's a bit Ashley-ish.
Yeah.
If he gives you 45 Colt, don't run it through your Rossies.
No.
No, because
No. It'd make Rossi go boom.
when he says that it's 89 psi, 89,000 psi, he ain't kidding.
Yeah.
Believe him.
Johnny's classification system mystifies me sometimes when I'm in the gun room.
Yeah.
He's got one ammo can that says good 308.
Yeah.
Another one that says so-so 308.
Yeah.
And one that says lousy 308.
Yeah,
Why did he not just
I've got a picture. I've had a picture somewhere of those ammo cans. Good 308, so-so 308, lousy 308. And there's no. Johnny knew what defined lousy.
Yeah.
Did it not have the velocity he was looking for? Is it ate up by rats?
Yeah.
he took that secret to the grave?
Yeah. Yeah, Josh. 454 Alaskan, 5-foot wide fire ring. I could believe that easily. 460s will do the same thing. Yeah, 89,000. Yeah. Those bullets will go through and through a hog from front to back, not just side to side.
Yeah, and they don't.
Yeah.
I don't buy anything from Garrett, and if it actually gives me something, I'm very careful with it.
And on that note, folks, we've wasted another hour of
Holy
your time.
crap, we have.
Ian only got in 3 rants today, so
Actually referred to as rhino rollers.
yeah. Yes, a number of his rounds have made it into Africa and have been used successfully down there.
He designed them for, I think it was for Ruger number 1,
Yeah.
which is a stupid strong.
Yep.
Yes, Tuvula, I have the email. Time's fun when you're having flies, said the frog.
Yeah.
Really? No.
Oh, well, DW, thank you for chiming in, and everybody else. We really appreciate it.
Y'all be safe.
Y'all be safe. We'll be back on Thursday at 3 as usual.
As usual.
And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And it would be nice if the friggin' wind would stop for once.
It'd be nice if the weather settles down.
We're on our 6th or 7th day in a row of 20+ mile an hour winds out of every direction except consistent.
Ugh,
And on that note, good day, folks.
goodness.